and that may have been purposeful. I mean, in other words, the leaks. The media may have been used, I don't know, to be told we have the picture. This person now knows they're identified.
Why does he now know that?
Because people report it, right?
They report someone's identified.
Right, but it's a picture of him. So now he may do something stupid. That's good, right? So if someone who's hiding out now gets worried that they're being watched, they do something stupid, sort of, show their hand and get arrested. So this may be part of a I don't want to.
I'm still that law enforcement would use the media.
Are you shocked?
Yeah, shocked. But at this point, it is.
That's what we did all the time.
But it is interesting, and it is a kind of a delicate dance for law enforcement. At this point now, do you go completely public with what you have in the hopes that, like they did with the Unabomber, finally releasing his manifesto that led to the brother of the Unabomber identifying some of the nature of the writing? Do you go public with all the information you have in the hopes that that will stir the pot and alert somebody? Or do you try to hold it close to the vest?
So it might be too soon to. I think it's going to depend on whether there's a hot trail or a cold trail. If there is just a picture of someone and they have no idea, it's just hundreds of thousands of people at the Boston Marathon, the trail may be cold, and they may want to go public because, as I've been saying, this person was here for some time. We can know that just intuitively, that this was a person who knew the area. If it's hot, no, because they might be close, and they're hoping he's doing something stupid right now that would let us get him, let the government get him.
But just to close the circle on this, we have reason to believe they have someone identified.
Yes.
It's progressing that way. No more information at that time, but that is good news. We do have our correspondent over at Brigham and Women's Hospital, Elizabeth. There's activity over there. What do you know?
Yes, there is. Very quickly, it transformed from having just a little bit of police presence to having a lot of police presence. And what we've been told by 2 Brookline police officers is that they believe the hospital, or at least a part of it, is being evacuated. That's what we were told by Brookline police officers. Brookline is a town right next to Boston. And you can see that the street to the east, Francis Street to the east, has now been blocked off. There is no traffic coming to or from. You can see the policeman in the middle there who's with the Brookline Police Force. There's also state police troopers here. So again, we were told by 2 police officers that they believe the hospital is being evacuated, or at least a part of it is being evacuated.
Right.
Is there any reason why, Elizabeth, that has been offered other than just these 2 police officers saying it? No, we asked about that, and they don't know. These are police officers who are here just doing their job and trying to help people get across the street and blocking off the traffic, and they didn't have a reason why.
We should point out in a situation like this, after a big story like this, oftentimes there are people who call in all sorts of threats. We have seen this, and frankly, a lot of it is not even worth reporting because you don't want to do anything that then encourages other people to call in threats elsewhere. There have been a number of evacuations in places, not just in Boston, but in airports, other places around the country in the last several days that have really turned out to be nothing or just an abundance of caution. So I think all of this should kind of be taken with a grain of salt. And as Chris keeps saying, let's just step back from this and kind of look at the big picture.
I think the fact that there's not a major police presence at the courthouse suggests that the 5 p.m. is going to be more sort of here at 5 p.m. presser by the public officials will be just more, here's where we are, and this is good, and we've advanced a lot more than they did from 24 hours ago, and then figuring out whether they're going to release the picture and again, what the picture tells us.
As for a point of perspective, from the beginning, what's been head-scratching about this is to go so quickly from identifying somebody on a videotape, even if you think you know a name, how you would get to that point, unless they're a known quantity, is shocking. To then get word that they had an arrest within hours.
It would have been fast.
Shockingly fast. And at the risk of seeming naive about it, if they turned out to have an arrest, happy to be wrong, that I should have never been startled, that's just on me. That's fine. But it makes sense that this is going to go slowly and that they are very fortunate as an investigation if they have anything to work on that includes a specific individual. Fair point?
Right, very. And as I keep saying, the attack has already happened, right? So your goal is to prevent the attack. That's already happened. Your next goal as the government is only one, which is the effective and successful prosecution and a guilty verdict. That is the next goal. So if that takes 2 months and if it takes 6 months, that's okay, right? Because unfortunately the bad thing has already happened.
Yeah. Right, and to use that grain of sand analogy that Farrick had a law enforcement source using, it's not just trying to find a grain of sand, it's also that you want that grain of sand to stick. You want
exactly. I mean,
you want it to be a successful prosecution, not just a prosecution.
Right, because this is a big deal. I mean, we don't have many, once we get someone, if we get someone, I mean, there have not been there hasn't been a high-profile post 9/11 case in federal court. There just hasn't. And so this will be a big deal. And so caution is good, and time is good, and time is on the side of this investigation.
Now, as a reporter, you always want information whenever you can get it. As an attorney, it makes sense to me that if I were doing the investigation, I would keep everything as close to my vest as possible until I was ready to move forward with my probable cause case. But on the investigative side, within themselves, forget about talking to us, how quickly can they move in a comprehensive way from getting an image of somebody and sending it to security at train stations, at the airports, to make sure that they can start looking for an image?
The apparatus is there. So, I mean, in terms of just the technology, that's sort of the post 9/11 world that I worked in. So you have all sorts of ways to communicate with all sorts of different pieces of federal, state, and local law enforcement, including private, as the case may be with Amtrak or something like that. So they may know that he went to, say, Amtrak or South Station or Logan Airport or airport after. That may be disclosed over time. So the capacity is there. It depends on how good the image was. We haven't seen an image of the front face, and so it depends on how good the image is, and then those people are tracing back, is he actually in, you could learn a lot if there's no images of him at South Station, which is our train station, or Logan Airport, then he got into a car, and then you check the tolls, and then you check, so this is what's been happening, and this is sort of how it unfolds in real time. That individual now may still be out there. There's a lot of people that are getting much closer, though.
All right, and we're going to take a quick break right now. As you can see, everybody has at least one device in their hands. We're reporting as we go, trying to figure out more information. To leave right now for a break where we began, we believe that there has been substantial progress made in the investigation. That's the word from authorities. They believe that someone has been identified from videotape whom they believe is responsible for placing a bomb and then exiting. We'll be back with more reporting.